You check in for a short stay, maybe to study, maybe to heal, maybe to escape. But what if the apartment doesn't want you to leave? These 6 guests experienced something no one could explain, until it was too late. 6 real stories, 1 cursed building. Welcome to the apartment of evil spirits. At the edge of a forgotten district, hidden between crumbling buildings and broken streetlights, stands a gray, unassuming apartment complex. No neon signs, no friendly neighbors, just a heavy silence that clings to the air. Most people walk by without ever noticing it, but for those who move in, their lives are never the same. It doesn't appear in real estate listings, only passed around quietly by landlords who don't ask questions. The rent, incredibly low, almost too good to be true. And yet, no tenant ever stays longer than 30 days. Anna was a 22-year-old nursing student. She rented Unit 3B, a cozy place, cheap rent. On her second night, she heard whispering, low voices coming from the walls behind her headboard. At first, she thought it was just the neighbors, but every time she checked, silence. She started recording audio at night. What she captured were unintelligible whispers, until one clip said clearly, "She's awake now." The next morning, her mirror had the word "listen" written in steam. She checked out that afternoon and never returned. But the whispers didn't stop. The new tenant claimed they heard someone whisper, "Anna." Luis was a part-time travel vlogger. He stayed in Unit 2A. One night while brushing his teeth, he caught a glimpse of someone in the mirror. A woman, pale, long black hair, standing behind him. He turned, no one there. The next night she appeared again, closer. Luis covered all the mirrors in towels, convinced it was a hallucination. But on the 5th night, every cloth had been ripped off, and every mirror showed her. She was behind him. She moved when he moved. He recorded himself sleeping. In the reflection, she sat beside him all night. He checked out at dawn, sleep-deprived, shaking. 2 months later, his last video upload was titled, "She's Still Watching Me." After his bitter breakup, Johan moved into Unit 1C, hoping to escape the noise of his past. He needed space, silence, a place to start over. What he got was 3 knocks, every single night. 2:59 a.m., knock, knock, knock. At first, Johan thought it was just some kid messing around. He rushed to the door, but no one was there. The hallway was empty, cold, and strangely quiet. He laughed it off. But it kept happening. Night after night, same time, same knocks. He even stayed up with the lights on, waiting. But when the clock struck 2:59, the lights flickered, the knocks came, and still, no one was ever there. Johan's friends told him it was just stress or sleep paralysis. But he knew better. He was losing sleep, losing focus. Something was wrong with that apartment. So he set up a security camera in the hallway. The footage made his blood run cold. It wasn't someone knocking at the door. It was him, Johan, sleepwalking. Every night at the exact same time, he would rise, walk silently to the door, and stand there, motionless, listening, waiting, as if something on the other side was calling him. And then, on his final night, he didn't just stand there. He opened the door. The camera caught a brief gust of cold air, a shadow, and then nothing. Johan was never seen again, but the neighbors still talk about Unit 1C, because ever since that night, at exactly 2:59 a.m., every single night, knock, knock, knock. A young couple moved into their new apartment with their 2-year-old son, excited for a fresh start. The place was quiet, cozy, and everything seemed perfect at first. But then, strange things began to happen. It started with soft giggling around 1 a.m. At first, they thought it was just their toddler waking up. But when they peeked into his room, he was sound asleep, peacefully curled up, clutching his stuffed bear. Still, they heard tiny footsteps. Toys would roll across the floor. The baby monitor would crackle with static, then soft whispers. One night, the father checked the monitor again, and froze. There were two children on the screen. The second child stood in the far corner of the room, pale, blurry, not moving. He rushed into the room, but the second child was gone. When he asked his son about it, the toddler just smiled and pointed to the closet. "That's my friend," he said softly. "He lives in there." The parents tried to brush it off as imagination, but deep down, they knew something was wrong. Their son started talking to someone they couldn't see, laughing at jokes that were never told. The final straw came when they found handprints, small, smudged ones, on the inside of the closet door, higher than any toddler could reach. They moved out that same week. But even now, miles away, their son sometimes pauses mid-play, looks over his shoulder, and whispers something under his breath. When they ask who he's talking to, he smiles again. "You know," he says, "my friend from the closet. He knows where we live." Room 4A was always locked, sealed off, untouched for years. Guests were told not to ask about it, and most didn't. But one stormy night, at exactly 2:45 a.m., a man named David, staying in the unit across the hall, saw someone walk into room 4A. The door opened smoothly. The figure stepped inside, tall, slow, silent. David assumed the room had finally been reopened. Curious, he asked the landlord the next morning, "Who moved into 4A?" The landlord froze. His face went pale. "No one. That room's been empty since 2019. After a man hanged himself in there. No one's used it since." David didn't argue. He simply showed him the footage on his phone. A tall man, his face blurred and distorted, walking into the room. But when David rewatched the video that night, he noticed something he missed the first time. The man turned, faced the camera, and waved. David left town before sunrise, but a few weeks later, another tenant captured something in a mirror in their unit. That same blurred figure, watching from the inside. And now, the apartment sits in silence. But some say if you walk past it at midnight, you can still see shadows move behind the curtains. Even though no one's lived there for years. These were 6 true horror stories, 6 lives forever changed. Sometimes it's not the place that's haunted, but the memory that never leaves. If these tales gave you chills, hit that like button. Subscribe for more terrifying stories and let us know in the comments below. Which of these 6 hauntings scared you the most? And when you're ready to explore a safer kind of mystery, check out my Travel the World word search puzzle, now available on Amazon KDP. Perfect for puzzle lovers and explorers. Link is in the description below. Some doors lead to adventure. Others should never be opened. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and never ignore a knock in the dark.